Hello everyone, it's Mr. Romero, and you may or may not have had a chance to meet me in person yet, but welcome to Job Corps. I'm looking forward to meeting you if I haven't. And what I'd like to do is a quick training session on something that's really important. And and occasionally we have issues with it. And this training is cultural sensitivity and respect. What we'll find here on Centers, we have a very diversified group of students who come from all over the place and all kinds of different backgrounds. I actually, based on my history and background and how I grew up, have a little bit of experience with this. And there are things that in your world, in your bubble, in the place that you live and you grew up with and the friends that you grew up with, that you may have been able to do or say specifically that, it was accepted because these were your friends who you grew up. And in particular, it's a use of words that certain cultures find unacceptable. And maybe where you came from, maybe where you lived, you can say these words and really nobody cared. You were just part of the family. But then what happens is you step out of that bubble into this new world where no one knows you, and then you try to use these words that are offensive, that people who don't know you don't accept those things. And really what's important about understanding this is it's not just the word and that you could get in trouble and offend people by using it. There's a bigger backlash to it than just using the word. If you offend one person using a word that is unacceptable, and then other people who are also offended by that word, they hear about it, and then they will resent you, they will have issues with you, and then there's a whole nother group of people who may not even be part of that culture, but who support that you shouldn't use that word, and they'll resent you, and then they won't want to associate with you. So there have been instances in my experience where a student comes in, whether it was meant to be offensive or it was meant to be just maybe trying to fit in, used a word that offended one person or maybe several people, then more people found out it. Next thing you know, this person is basically a social outcast because they consider a racist, or they consider it insensitive, or whatever the reason is. They are just no longer part of the community at Job Corps, and it makes it very difficult. So I think it's very important that we establish this right up front, that you should not use this word, regardless of what your background is, what your culture is, what your race is. You shouldn't use the word. And there are far-reaching implications aside from whatever immediate punishment would come about if you get caught using that word. There's also the social ramifications that you need to be aware of. And we don't want what happened to some of these students in the past to happen to you. So please take the warning, understand that it's important and it is a big deal. Maybe where you're from, it's not a big deal, but in other places it is, and you have to realize you're not in a bubble. You're not in the place that you grew up with your friends, with the people who know you and know what you're about. So even if you mean nothing by it, even if you're just trying to fit in, if a person who doesn't know you, doesn't have any history with you, doesn't understand you, when they hear that, it doesn't matter what your history is. All that matters is what they know about you here. And that's how most of your life will be, because some of you students, many of you students, are not going to return to the place where you came from. You're going to go to this new world where you have to kind of fit in these social norms, the way people do things, not the way you've always done it, if you want to be accepted in society. And obviously you guys came here to improve your education, to put yourself in a position to get a better job and work at a place where those type of things aren't acceptable. So you have to start learning now that you simply cannot do that. So now what I'd like to do is I would like to take a minute to have some of your CPP instructors come in and kind of give you their experience and their knowledge and their background quickly, and so that you can understand the importance of this.
Some things I have learned throughout my life and experiences: there are 4 things you cannot take back: the stone after it's thrown, the word after it's spoken, the occasion after it's missed, and time after it's gone. And if I can leave you all with some words of wisdom here, we all need to remember that no matter where we came from, what our home life was like, and no matter what our background was, when we come through those doors, we're here to better ourselves and our situation. Nothing else matters. Everything else is just noise.
All right, there you go. You got a chance to hear from me, the SPO, and you got a chance to hear from several instructors who deal with this on a regular basis. And I'm going to try to summarize this entire conversation, this entire training, into something very simple. And that is, don't do it, okay? Stay away from it. It doesn't matter what environment you've had in the past. If people accepted that in the past, try to make your stay here as enjoyable as possible, focused on your future and your education, and stay away from the social things that can get you in trouble. We've seen it over and over again, and we're just asking you for your best interest. Stay away from using that word, using any type of racial slurs, even if it's an effort to fit in, even if it's something you've done in the past. Don't do it. Anyway, it's only a piece of advice to help you. So I'm Mr. Romero. I'm the Student Personnel Officer. I'm sure that we'll be talking plenty. You'll see me walking through the halls, and we want you to come here and have the best possible experience, and we're trying to help you do that. Anyway, till next training video, the next time we talk to you, take care.